humble body of Juan Perón and his wife, the First Lady of Argentina, Eva Duarte de Perón.
Well, I was very passionate about playing the role because she is an amazing, fascinating, confusing, infuriating, incredible woman.
It is a gigantic epic film, so that you know that you'll appeal to audiences in that regard. It's an extraordinary classic story of a girl who comes from nowhere, meets the most famous man in that country, and then becomes one of the most powerful and famous people in South America, and indeed the world, and then dies tragically young. It actually is a story that Hollywood might have written themselves.
I felt sort of possessed because I was standing where she once stood, and there was an electricity in the air, and it was one of those magical moments. Down at the thousands of extras, I felt like a lot of them were looking up at me and sort of thinking I was her, so it just turned it into this kind of surreal moment.
Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is I never left you. All through my wild days, my mad existence, I kept my promise. Don't keep your distance.
Pretty hands reach out and they reach wide. Now you may feel it should have been a voluntary cause, but that's not the point, my friends. When the money keeps rolling in, you don't ask how. Think of all the people guaranteed a good time now. Eva's called the hungry to her, open up the doors. Never been a fan like the foundation, never parole.
There are four main sung parts. Obviously, Madonna's playing Eva Perón, Antonio Banderas playing the character Che, who is the narrator of the piece, Jonathan Pryce is playing Juan Perón, and Jimmy Nail is playing tango singer Agustin Magaldi.
Would you like to try a college education? On your landlord's house, take the family on vacation. Eva and her blessed fund can make your dreams come true.
It was Tim Rice's idea. He was very intrigued by the fact that she was mentioned in the context of a whole load of 50s figures who were very successful, including people like James Dean. And I think he was curious as to find out why she became this kind of cult figure, or this huge figure in Argentina.
Here's all you have to do, my friends. Write your name and your dream on a card, on a pad, on a ticket. Throw it high in the air and shoot Our Lady Picket. She will change your way of life for a week or even two. Name me anyone who cares as much as Eva Perón.
No major problems there.
No.
I just think we do need something in the rhythm track that throws the accent, so it isn't all 1 2 1 2 1 2 3.
Yeah.
So we do actually get some some things across it, because it anchors it a bit.
Probably flamenco-ish guitars as well that could take the rhythm the other way.
Yeah. I realise actually just that there are some wonderful things in it that, which is great for us to actually be able to explore again, because the recording, of course, is going to be a lot better than the original was by definition, because things have come along, and we've also got a bit more time and money than we had back then.
Che Guevara is this critical character, this cynical, ironic guy who is all the time going in and out of the story. I suppose it's going to be difficult, yeah. Because even if he's different characters, he's going to be a waiter if she's in a restaurant, he's going to be a reporter if she's on the streets, and he's going to be many different characters during the whole movie. I think we have to forget that it's Che Guevara.
Never been a lady loved as much as Eva Perón.
And I was living in a little pension, you know, very, very low class pension in Madrid. But it was wall to wall with the theater where they were performing Evita. So every night I couldn't sleep at all because of the music of Evita. They were performing until 1:30 in the morning. So even the wall, I remember in the more noisy numbers, the whole wall was moving like I couldn't sleep at all.
Evita is a sung-through piece. It's musical drama, opera, whatever word one wants to use. But other than that, I'm not making any nods to it being a musical.
Right. Bravo!
I will make it as if I was making a straightforward dramatic film, like I was making Midnight Express or Mississippi Burning. It just happens that people are going to be singing the dialogue, and hopefully that will be as realistic and naturalistic as possible. When we first arrived, it was actually, not very nice to come from the airport and see these huge signs everywhere saying, "Go home, Madonna," or more importantly, "Go home, Alan Parker and your film crew," which was very worrying. But it proved to be like a very small group of people.
Some small group of a very conservative faction of the new Peronist regime in Buenos Aires had started painting slogans on the walls in certain areas of the city saying, Evita lives, Madonna go home, or Evita lives, Alan Parker go home, because they didn't want us to make the movie, period. The press blew it out of proportion. They made it seem like we arrived and there were just like riots and people throwing hand grenades at us and that we were totally unwelcome.
I get out here when it's hottest. Stand back, you ought to know when you're gonna get in me. Just a little touch of star quality.
Well, we had a big press conference. Just really, a lot of the sort of fears really were about the kind of film they thought we were going to make, rather than the actual film we were going to make. In the end, we're making a film. It's the biggest film ever made in Argentina, and therefore we had to attract a lot of attention from the press because not a lot else happens here, and we're the only game in town at the moment.
Eventually, we did turn a lot of people around, and I think that my interviewing people and meeting with people, a lot of them were high-ranking political officials, and it slowly trickled up to the top that we were, A, very serious about what we were doing, and B, we were going to make a very respectful film, a fair film.
High flying adored, so young, the instant queen, a rich, beautiful thing of all the talents, a cross between a fantasy of the bedroom and a saint. You were just a backstreet girl, hustling and fighting, scratching and biting, high flying adored. Did you believe in your wildest moments all this would be yours, that you'd become the lady of the morn? Were the stars in your eyes when you crawled in at night? From the bars, from the sidewalks, from the gutter theatrical. Don't look
would say the turning point when I'm getting ready each day is once I have my contacts in. Because they're brown, they make me see everything in a different way. They tint everything. And when I have my teeth in, because she had slightly bucked teeth, and it kind of makes me hold my mouth and speak in a different way. So that helps me feel like her.
Birds fly out of here, so why, oh why, oh why the hell can't I? I only want variety of society. I wanna be a part of being a Buenos Aires Big Apple. She wants to be a part of being a Buenos Aires Big Apple.
Well, before I went to Argentina, I just did massive amounts of research just in, you know, going through archives, going to, you know, just reading everything I could get my hands on and watching as much documentary footage as I could that Alan gave me and that I'd gotten through a few other sources. And then I went down to Buenos Aires 3 weeks before we started shooting, and I had made friends with an Argentine journalist in London while I was recording the soundtrack, and she promised to sort of be a liaison with me, with all these people, members of the sort of hardcore Peronist people that worked with her, friends that grew up with her, people that were against her, like a real cross-section of people that were around her when she was alive. And I went down there and I sort of interviewed everybody, and that was really exciting. That was...
You became even more fascinated.
Oh my God, yeah. The more I found out about her, the more I wanted to do it, and the more I was sure I could do it. And I became sort of obsessed with her and sort of figuring out, because everybody I talked to was either completely against her or completely for her, and I just thought, okay, where's the truth in all of this?
So why, oh why, oh why the hell can't I? I only want variety of society. I wanna be a part of being a Buenos Aires Big Apple.
I think we have some things in common. She was incredibly courageous to have done the things that she'd done, to come from where she came from, to go to Buenos Aires without any formal training, without knowing anyone, without relatives. I mean, to have started where she started to then go to where she arrived at was amazing and required an awful lot of courage, and I can definitely relate to that. I went to New York when I was 17. She went to Buenos Aires when she was 15.
Never beware your ambition. It's hungry and cold, can't be controlled, will run wild. This in a man is danger enough, but you are a woman, not even a woman, not very much.
Time and time again, I've said that I don't care, that I'm immune to gloom, that I'm hard through and through. But every time it matters, all my words desert me, so anyone can hurt me. And they do. So what happens now?
I know a suitcase in another
So what happens now?
Take your picture of another wall.
Where am I going
You'll get
to?
by, you always have before.
Where am I going to?
Working with Doris, it has been really good. I mean, we had a very good time recording the soundtrack in the studio. She's obviously, that's a world she knows, you know, like the back of her hand, as it were. And here, we expected many more problems than we've got, I think, because the problems are to do